He sits at work behind his desk, getting his thoughts together for his meeting in the next 45 minutes, preparing for his case as he flips through the notes that he studied every hour on the hour. When suddenly there's a phone call. He looks at the caller ID to see, and it's his lady calling. So he puts his work down to answer the phone. She's calling to tell him to hurry home after work so his dinner doesn't get cold. But unfortunately, it may. He has to prepare for the meeting, grab files, and still finish with clients before he can head home. But she's patient because she knows the demands of his job and simply tells him your dessert will still be hot and warm when you get here. He knew what that meant because it has been many times he's come home from a long, hard day and she's kept it hot and warm for him until he walked through the front door. So before he hangs up, he tells her he loves her, but he knows he disappointed her dinner plans, as he never intends to do. But the thought of the phone call alone made him smile. It made him feel thankful to have someone as beautiful as her think to consider what he wanted to eat and prepare it, even though she may have been troubled with her own day at work. He feels proud, and with that feeling came sexual excitement. He began looking at her picture on his desk with her hair flowing and her supple breasts cupped perfectly in a plain tank top and tightly fitted jeans that shows every curve on her athletic but toned body. He began imagining her soft, supple lips kissing his lips, teasing his upper lip first with her teeth as she playfully does. Her soft hands rubbing against the back of his neck as she routinely does, so he can smell the fragrance he loves to spoil her with for her birthday. Then as he's replaying her kissing on him gently, his blood begins to flow towards the middle of the seat. He feels himself growing with excitement at the thought that he will see her in nothing but her smile. He will feel nothing but her curves and use his hands to massage every part of her body and touch every opening that is his to explore. His manhood begins to grow larger and he starts to sit back in his chair while unzipping his pants. He takes it out to hold and rubs himself to the steady beat of his heart that's jumping at the thought of her. With his eyes closed and his hands full, he imagines her wet pleasure points dripping with excitement, feeling the thick, juicy lather of passion that would cover his manhood, with each stroke of him being in and out of the warmest part of her during that moment. He moans at the thought of hearing her scream out with a feeling of pleasure, while biting her lips and grabbing the pillows and placing them on top of her face as the feeling gets too real and intense for her. He strokes his manhood even faster, now kicking off his shoes underneath his desk, getting comfortable for his passion to be released. And with his every stroke on himself, he's imagining her, riding on top of him, bouncing her soft behind on him while he's sitting on a chair, squeezing his face in between her breasts, then she's grabbing his hands to cup them and guiding her erect areola into his mouth, where he's teasing it with the tip of his tongue, then caressing them by slowly and softly biting her nipples, making her body jump each time while she's still riding him. As he's behind his desk, his pace quickens, his hands get tighter, his breathing gets heavier, his toes begin to curl, and he lets out a moan so deep he startles himself back to reality. Now, passion oozing all over his hands, trickling down the base of his manhood. He's exhausted. He thinks about his welcoming when he gets home, and now he's focused for this meeting, ready for these files and the rest of the day to be over, so he can go home and taste her dessert as she promised to keep it hot and warm. Enjoy.